showing them in church on Sunday, clapping it up and praising the Lord, and then just being trash people the rest of the week. And I was like, that is so typical. What up, what up? Welcome to Girl Crush, the podcast all about lesbian movies and other gay shit. I am your host, Brooklyn Jones. I hope y'all are doing well. I'm keeping my promise that I made like 3 weeks ago, and I'm reviewing Beauty, the movie that was written and directed by Lena Waithe. And I'm sorry that I didn't review it when I said that I would. I totally forgot that I told y'all that I was going to review it, and I didn't think anybody was paying attention until somebody pointed out that I said that I was going to review Beauty, and I didn't. So here I am, about to review Beauty. The reason that I skipped over it and decided not to review it was because, honestly, I kind of found the movie boring. No disrespect to Lena Waithe, because I love Lena Waithe, but this movie just was not it. Like, it reminded me of I Want to Dance with Somebody. So basically, Beauty is loosely based on the life of Whitney Houston, but it's not really based on the success part of her life. It's based on before her success and her relationship with her secret girlfriend, Robyn. So I won't say that the movie was a biopic about Whitney Houston, but Whitney Houston's story inspired this story. So it's very, very similar to I Want to Dance with Somebody, the Whitney Houston biopic, which starred Naomi Ackie, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and Nafessa Williams, who I love. I love me some Nafessa Williams. Nafessa played Thunder on Black Lightning. And oh my God, I had the biggest crush on Thunder. I just thought she was so dope. She was hot and just strong and fly. The only thing that I didn't like about Thunder was, and it's not her fault, it's the writer's fault, because in the beginning of Black Lightning, Thunder had a girlfriend. She had a black girlfriend. And then Thunder broke up with her black girlfriend. And then later on in the series, she got with an Asian girl. And I'm like, damn, can't we ever have black love? Because like, if you pay attention to a lot of the gay and lesbian relationships on TV shows and movies, a lot of times they pair black people up with somebody who is not black. It's very rare that in a LGBTQ movie or TV show do they pair up two black people. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a thing, because it is. Because like, if you watch 911 on Fox starring Angela Bassett, there's a lesbian couple and it's two black women, Tracy Toms and Aisha Hines. They play a lesbian couple, a black lesbian couple, which is great. But I just noticed like a lot of movies and TV shows, when you see a gay or lesbian couple, it's either a black and a white person, or a black and a Latino person, not Afro-Latina, like white Latina, or black and Asian. So on Black Lightning, Thunder left her black girlfriend and ended up with an Asian girl. And this is the crazy part. Spoiler alert, if you decide to watch Black Lightning, which is an excellent show, and I hate that it ended because it was really good. I don't know why it ended. I think it ended because people, and by people, I don't mean skin folk, kinfolk. I'm just talking about people. I don't think they really vibed with the black power aspect of Black Lightning, because it was a very blackity black superhero show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it touched on a lot of black issues, black community stuff. So I feel like it didn't go over well with all audiences, because certain audiences be wanting us to just ignore our struggles and get over it, but we ain't doing that. So Black Lightning was an excellent show, and I hate that it ended. But anyway, the thing that I hated about the relationship between Thunder and her girlfriend was later on in the series, Thunder finds out that her girlfriend is not what she thought she was. Like, she thought she was this beautiful Asian girl. And it turns out she was a shapeshifter. And I think her main shape was some kind of monster, but she would shapeshift like into a little old Asian man, and she would shapeshift into some kind of cat or some kind of animal, and Thunder was like madly in love with this person. And when she found out that the shapeshifter was not really an Asian girl, but in fact like some kind of weird ass creature that could shift into multiple things, but her main shape was not that of the Asian woman, she still was in love with her. She was like, I don't care what you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you're a blob. I love you for who you are. And while that sentiment is beautiful, it kind of made me mad because I'm like, damn, you'd rather be with a shape-shifting blob than your black girlfriend. I was like, y'all can go to hell for that one. But that's what I didn't like about that. But anyway, Nafessa played Robyn in I Want to Dance with Somebody, the Whitney Houston biopic. And this movie, Beauty, which was directed and written by Lena Waithe, reminded me very much of the I Want to Dance with Somebody movie. Like, it had a very, very similar storyline, a lot. So this movie starred Gracie Marie Bradley, and Niecy Nash played her mom, and Giancarlo Esposito played her dad. And if you don't know who he is, you know who he is. You might not know his name, but if you see his picture, you'll know exactly who that is, because he plays a bad guy in like everything. He plays like a real snaky, shady character in a lot of stuff. So when you see him, you gonna know who he is. I think he played the lawyer, the shady lawyer in Power. But he plays a shady character in everything, and he was no different in this movie. He played a really shady, greedy, money-hungry father. So this movie followed the early life of a singer who was loosely based off Whitney Houston, who had a budding love affair with a woman. And she was like this amazing singer, and her father was angling her to be a superstar. So he had some like white lady hovering around who was like a big record executive, and she was played by Sharon Stone. But the funny part is, when I pulled up this movie to see like who the actors were in the movie and like who they played or whatever, Sharon Stone's character didn't even have a name. It just says she played the colonizer. I was like, they ain't right. Sharon Stone, colonizer. So basically, Sharon Stone's character was this record executive who was trying to sign Beauty. Beauty was her name. Her name wasn't Whitney Houston in it, of course, because it's not really about Whitney Houston, but it's based loosely off her life. So the character's name was Beauty, and the colonizer record executive wanted to sign Beauty to her big record company, but like she was trying to whitewash her. You know what I'm saying? So she was telling her to learn how to speak proper English, and every song she wanted her to sing had to appeal to white people. She didn't want her to sing like anything too urban, and she didn't want the world to know about her secret romantic life with a woman, because she was like, I don't care what you do behind closed doors, but when you out in public, you got to carry yourself as a woman who desires men or whatever. But she had this girlfriend who she adored and who adored her, and she had these two brothers. So one brother was he was the child of her mother and her father, and her and this brother, they got along very well. He loved the Robyn character, whose name was, oh yeah, her name was Jasmine. So the Robyn character, played by Aleyse Shannon, her name was Jasmine, and her and Beauty were like madly in love. And the family didn't really approve of it, but her brother did. Like, her and her brother were close, and he didn't care what Beauty did. Like, long as she was happy, and he got along with Jasmine. Like, they were cool. But the other brother, he wanted the father's approval because he wasn't biologically the father's son. He was the mom's son, and I guess the mom got with the dad while she was still pregnant. So he was there for the birth of this child, and he raised this child as his own, but he never really accepted him as his own. Like, you could see that he treated him differently than his own son. And he would just say little things to let that boy know that he wasn't really his son, you know? Like, there was one part in the movie where he told his biological son what he was going to be like when he grew up. And he was mean to his biological son too, don't get me wrong, because he basically told him he wasn't going to be shit when he grew up. And like all the stuff he said about him, I was like, bro, you projecting, because you are a trash father. And everything that you're describing your son is going to grow up to be, that's what you are now. But then the stepson was like, oh, Dad, do me. What am I going to be like when I grow up? And he was like, I don't know what you're going to be like because you didn't come from me. And he's like, yeah, but you were there when I was born. And he was like, yeah, but that don't count because I wasn't there when you were conceived. Like, he just treated him like an outcast. And it just like really showed me how some people are. Like, you got to watch out for some of these church people. Like, not all, because I grew up in the church as a child, and there are some really beautiful, holy, godly people in the church. But at the same time, there are some trash people in the church. And these people in this movie were classic examples of that, especially the dad. Like, the mom wasn't so bad. Like, she didn't really approve of the relationship between Beauty and Jasmine, but she didn't condemn it the way that the dad condemned it. And I don't even think they really condemned it because she was gay. I don't think they liked Jasmine influencing her, but Jasmine was influencing her positively because this family was just like very controlling. And the dad, he looked at Beauty with dollar signs in his eyes. Like, he knew that she was going to be something big and he wanted a piece of that pie. But they were just so mean, and the dad like was just so mean and cruel and disrespectful. And it was just crazy because they were heavy in the church, you know, showing them in church on Sunday, clapping it up and praising the Lord, and then just being trash people the rest of the week. And I was like, that is so typical of a lot of people who are like heavy in the church. It seems like sometimes the heavier the person is in the church, the worse they are as a person in life. It's like they go to church to compensate for the trash they do all week. Like, I guess they feel like, man, I'm a garbage person, so let me go to church on Sunday to try to atone for all the crap that I did all week, and how mean and evil and trifling I was all week. Let me go to church. You know what I'm saying? I was like, God, that is, ugh. Like, sometimes, I hate to say this, but sometimes, like, if somebody tells me that they're big in the church, like if they're like, I'm a bishop or I'm a deacon or whatever, I start looking at them sideways, like, what you up to? Because, like, I remember this building I used to live in, this lady that lived downstairs was a bishop, and she was a mean, evil bitch. And I was like, you really the head of some church and people are following you and listening to your guidance, and you're an absolute trash person? I've met like so many people like that. And like a lot of those people, like the church people, they be condemning gay people. They be like, oh, if you gay, you going to hell because being gay is a sin. But these same people have like several children out of wedlock, or they'll be like the pastor of church cheating on their wife with people from the congregation, or they condemn gay people. Then you find out like they got a secret boyfriend, or they be molesting little boys. Like, it's crazy. It'd be like the most judgmental ones who have the most ratchet skeletons in their closet. So whenever I see people who, number one, be like heavy Bible thumping, and number two, be heavy judgmental and condemning people for the way they behave, I'm like, what are you up to? Because why you worrying about what everybody else is doing, trying to deflect the attention off of you? You know, and it's like they cherry pick parts of the Bible because they like, oh, it's saying in the Bible you shouldn't be gay. I don't even know what page that's on. Is it even really in there? But they be like, it's saying in the Bible you shouldn't be gay. But they be wearing polyester and eating crab legs. And I'm like, it's saying in the Bible you shouldn't wear it says in the Bible you shouldn't wear mixed fabrics and eat shellfish too. But I see you sucking on them crab legs in your polyester suit. So you better shut your ass up. And I just hate when people use the Bible to justify judging people and condemning people, because there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that they skip over. And like, there were slaves in the Bible, and literally in the Bible it says that slaves should listen to their masters. And there's parts in the Bible, there's a part in the Bible where, like, I don't know all the people's names in the Bible or whatever, but there's a part in the Bible where this guy was like trying to sell his daughter off, and he was telling people to bring back penis skin as payment. I'm like, why y'all don't talk about that part of the Bible? Y'all so worried about what other people are doing, and y'all ain't worried. Y'all be worried about the wrong things. Y'all be cheating on your wife. Y'all be sleeping around. Y'all be having mad babies, not taking care of your babies, treating people like garbage. A person asks you for help, a poor person asks you for help, you don't even want to help them, stealing money from the congregation, wearing diamond pinky rings while the people in your congregation are starving and poor, but you want to worry about gay people going to hell. Your ass is going to hell. You gonna be sitting, I about to say you gonna be sitting right next to the gay people, but nah, I believe that there's some gay people that'll go to heaven, because I don't think God is judging people for who they love. Like, imagine going to hell for loving somebody. That don't even make sense, but I digress. But I say all that to say the parents in this movie, especially the dad, was like so hypocritical, because he was like this church dude, but he was like the most garbage person ever. And the girlfriend, Jasmine, was like, yo, I know your dad wants you to sign this contract or whatever, but why don't you get a lawyer to look at it? And Beauty's like, well, why should I get a lawyer to look at it? Like, I trust my dad. And she's like, do you though? Because, just to protect yourself, why don't you just, it's nothing wrong with having somebody professional look at it. And when the colonizer record exec came to sign Beauty, and she said she wanted to get her lawyer to look at it, yo, her father flipped his lid. He grabbed her, body slammed her up against the wall. He was like, don't you F with my money. And she was like, that's what this is about? Money for you? All of this time, I thought, you was trying to look out for my best interest, and all it is money for you. She's like, I just want to protect myself, try to get a lawyer to look at it. He's like, I'm your father. You think I'm trying to steal from you? And she's like, I didn't say that. I just, wanted. He's like, that's that girl getting in your head, trying to mess everything up. You listening to her, and she ain't even your family. And let me tell you what this dude did. This fool manipulated the stepson, because the stepson is like fiending for dad's approval. So he's like, I'll do anything for you, dad. He's like, make that girl disappear, get rid of her. So he didn't say the words, but if you read between the lines, he basically told his stepson to murk the girlfriend, because he wanted her out of the picture, because she was like putting too much stuff into Beauty's head. I was like, oh my God. So the other son, who was friends with Jasmine, was like, what do you mean make her disappear? He's like, boy, this don't concern you unless you're trying to help. So the stepson was like, you coming with me. And the stepson was kind of rough and rugged. So the biological son was like kind of scared of him. So he kind of listened to him or whatever. And they went out there looking for this girl. And he's trying to convince his brother, like, yo, what are you about to do? Don't hurt. Like, Jasmine is cool. And he's like, we can't have evil people around our family. Just brainwashed. And he's like, Jasmine is not even evil. She's cool. And he's like, we got to take care of our sister. So they go out, and the guy just flips, and he hits the stepson. And the stepson pulls over, and they start fist fighting. Like, he's really fighting, trying to protect this girl before they find her. And they start fist fighting, and yo, they beat the crap out of each other to the point where they just both laid out on the ground and can't fight no more. So homeboy held his own. I don't think he's going to be scared of his brother no more. But he ended up not doing anything to the girl. And when he got home, of course, his father was like, you can't do nothing right. Every time I ask you to do something, you don't even do it. Like, bro, you just asked that man to murk somebody. Are you crazy? And Niecy Nash played the mom who was a singer first. And of course, her career didn't take off. So Beauty felt like maybe her mom wasn't really happy for her because she kept trying to like, she didn't really want her to sign the contract either. Not yet. She was like, Beauty's too young. I want her to get a little older, get a little bit more experienced in life before she signs contracts because, you know, the music industry is evil. I don't want her to get eaten up. I don't want, you know, these monsters to get a hold of her. And her father was like, how you know she not a monster too? I'm like, yo, what kind of father are you? And she's like, I know because she came out of my body. She's like, I don't want her to be thrown to the wolves, you know, like give her a little time to grow up. But Beauty, she's just young and naive. She's like, I'm ready now. One thing I didn't like about Beauty was she was kind of meek in a way. And I say in a way because she did talk back. She did stand up for herself, but she didn't have no flavor. You know what I'm saying? Like Whitney Houston was from the hood. These people were from the hood too, but they didn't really act like it. Like she acted real sweet and sheltered, and I get that. Like she was supposed to be like this sweet, sheltered girl. Like her family, her parents treated her like a diamond, and she was sheltered. But also she was from the hood, and she just didn't have no flavor. She didn't have no sauce. Like Whitney Houston had sauce. You know what I'm saying? Like Whitney Houston was a home girl. If you listen to her talk, she was a home girl. This girl wasn't no home girl. I was like, why is she so like timid and whispery? She was kind of corny. And the biggest thing I hated about this movie, Lena Waithe, you made me mad with this. Why would you make a movie about a singer and we don't never hear her sing one time? Not one time did we hear this girl sing. And I don't know what excuse Lena Waithe is going to use as to why she didn't let the girl sing. I mean, the actress didn't have to know how to sing. They could have used Deborah Cox's voice like they always do. Anytime it's a Whitney Houston role, they run to Deborah Cox, which is fine because Deborah Cox is the only person I know of that can sing close to sounding like Whitney Houston. But the movie made me so mad because not one time did we hear Beauty sing. We didn't even hear her mom sing. We heard everybody else sing. They kept showing clips, like old clips of legends singing. Like they would show Beauty watching TV and she would be like watching old performances, I guess, you know, getting inspiration or whatever. So we were seeing Judy Garland, Ella Fitzgerald, all kinds of different gospel singers, Karen Clark Sheard, all the gospel singers, all like the black legends who came before Whitney. They had clips of all of them singing. But we didn't hear Beauty sing one time. They even showed Beauty in the studio singing. But they played her singing with nothing coming out of her mouth. What kind of mess is that? What was that? Look, I'm going to show y'all. Look. And then there was a part where her mom was like, yo, let me get in the studio. Let me show you how it's done because you got your voice from me. I'm a singer too. Her mom, played by Niecy Nash, gets in the studio, starts singing. Not a note comes out of her mouth. Look at this. Yo, that made me so mad. Why would you have a movie about a singer and we don't hear her sing one time? And I know the argument will be, well, you know how Whitney Houston sounds. Just picture Whitney Houston. No, I ain't watching no movie to picture how Whitney Houston sound. I know how Whitney Houston sound, but this is not about 100% about Whitney Houston. It's loosely based off Whitney Houston. So how does Beauty sound? I wanted to hear some singing. Like that aspect of the movie really irritated me. I know it was probably like an artistic decision, but no, it felt lazy. And I feel like we should have been able to hear her sing. And I don't know if it's because they didn't want to pay nobody to write new songs or pay for rights to Whitney songs. I don't know. But they use everybody else's songs because they show people singing all different kinds of songs. If they could have paid for that, they could have paid for somebody to write some new songs for a new singer to sing. That was irritating. Gonna make a daggone movie about a singer and we'll never hear her sing one time. They had her in church singing in the choir. We didn't hear one note come out of her mouth. We heard everybody else singing. The whole choir singing. We didn't hear her. The movie even showed the part where her father was in the hospital. Like, this part was very similar to the I Want to Dance with Somebody movie, because there was a part where, like, the father was on his deathbed still worried about some money. And in this movie was the same thing. Like, he had a heart attack and he was on his last leg and he's talking about, I need my cut. Like, what you gonna do with it? He really seemed like the type that would be like, yo, give me my cut in cash and bury me with it. Like, he seemed like he wanted to be buried with his money just to have it so nobody else could have it. And she's like, yo, did you really call me down to the hospital for this? Like, you ain't want to see your child and hug her and, have a heartfelt moment? You really called me down here to tell me that you want your cut? And he's like, I want my cut after all I did for you. This how you repay me. And I'm like, bro, that's your child. You're supposed to do stuff for her. You're supposed to take care of her. That's your daughter. I want my cut. And she was like, I don't owe you nothing. She's savage for this, but he was like, you acting all brand new. You don't even have one hit song yet. And she was like, well, I'm going to have a bunch of them. And when we out there celebrating all my success, everybody going to be there but you. I was like, damn, she's savage. He's like, that's what you going to say? The last thing you going to say to me? I was like, yo, you raised her. If you a trash parent, you might raise a trash child. And that's what you did. And like, she wasn't a trash person. She was just trash to him because he was trash. So, look, you get what you give. I was like, dang, that was crazy. The girlfriend character, I felt bad for her because she was just trying to live her life. She was just trying to live her life with her little girlfriend or whatever. And everybody was just like trying to push her aside and treat her like she wasn't nothing. The only one that treated her like she was worth anything was Beauty's character. But then Beauty started acting funny too, because I guess she had gotten an advance for signing with the record label, because after her dad body slammed her against the wall, she signed the papers. So she got an apartment. And I don't understand the context of this or why this happened, but Jasmine was like kind of sulking because she knew that, Beauty was about to blow up. She was about to be this big singer. She didn't really know where she fit in. So she went out to the club, to like this bar that her and Beauty used to hang out at all the time. And there was like this bartender. I don't know if he was the owner, the bartender or whatever, but he was there. He would be there all the time. But he was like, oh, I got something for you. I think it was weed or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I don't really mess with that. And he's like, give it to your girl as a gift. And she's like, that ain't no gift. And he's like, well, it is if you give it to her. Here, I got it for you out back. Meet me out back. I'm going to give it to you. So when somebody say, meet me out back, I'm not going. Because why I got to go back there? Weed ain't that heavy. Why you can't go out back and get it and bring it in here to me? Why I got to go in the back alley with you? See, a lot of people are not street smart. And I know this because I know a few people that would have just went back there with him. But I'm from New York, and you ain't going to catch me slipping, meet me out back. Absolutely not. I ain't going nowhere with you. I don't be going nowhere with nobody, especially no random ass man. You just know him from that bar. Don't go nowhere with these dudes by yourself. Don't go nowhere with people by yourself, especially in no back alley behind a bar. Like, what are you doing? But anyway, she goes back there and he assaults her. So she ends up in the hospital. So Beauty like runs to her side. They don't even show what happens to the dude. Like, does he go to jail? Like, what happened? He just got away with it. But he assaults Jasmine. Beauty's like, look, we need to move out of here. And Jasmine's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to be part of your life. Like, just go live your life. And Beauty's like, nah, we in this together. So Beauty gets this fancy apartment downtown. They move in together. And, they just chilling, listening to music, living their best life. And this dude, knocks on the door, and he's like, yo, y'all making too much noise. This building been quiet for 2 years. Here y'all little teenagers come making all that damn noise, disturbing the peace. And Beauty was like, Beauty came to the door, Jasmine didn't. And she was like, I ain't no teenager. And he's like, well, you look like a teenager to me. And Beauty said, that's because you haven't seen me with my clothes off. What? Why would she say that to him? That was like weird as hell. And then she invites him to her show. So I guess he was supposed to be like the Bobby Brown character, because he was kind of like roughneck rugged like. But it was a weird contrast, because he looked like this roughneck dude, but he wanted peace and quiet in the house. And he didn't really seem to be checking for her, but she invited him to her show, and Jasmine was like, why is he here? So it seemed like she was trying to appease everyone who wanted her to be straight or look straight to the public. So she ropes this dude into her life to try to make him seem like her boyfriend or whatever. So I guess she was going to cheat on Jasmine with this dude, and he was basically like a beard for her. And it ended with her going to sing on a late night talk show or whatever. This was going to be like her big television debut. And she was like, oh, well, I haven't even put out a song yet. What single should we sing? And the lady was like, no, you're going to sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And she's like, I don't want to sing that. That's boring. And she's like, no, but it appeals to the right audience. And she's like, oh, you mean it appeals to white people? Like, they were really trying to like make her appeal to a white audience. And she just really wasn't feeling it. But it ended with her just cooperating and going ahead and singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow while her new boyfriend and her girlfriend waited in the dressing room. I was like, what the hell was that? But the biggest takeaway was it was a movie loosely based off Whitney Houston, but we never heard her sing one time, and that pissed me off. Lena, Waithe, you owe me an explanation. You owe me an explanation for that. So I'm gonna keep it short this week. I know last week I read some posts from Reddit or whatever, just trying out something new, but I don't think I'm gonna keep doing that. I don't think it really fit with what I was trying to do. If once people start listening to this podcast, if they liked that, let me know in the comments and I'll start doing it again. But for now, I think I'm just gonna stick to the movies and my commentary. And if I think of other fun stuff to do in the future, I'll do that. I'm still open to suggestions or whatever. But right now, I'm just going to break down these movies, tell y'all what I think of them, and tell y'all if I think you should watch it. As far as Beauty, I think you should skip it. If you want to see Whitney Houston's story, just watch I Want to Dance with Somebody, because it's like the same movie except better. And you can actually hear some of Whitney's songs. And people will be singing in the movie. Next week, I'm going to be reviewing Heart Shot, which is on Netflix. Beauty is also on Netflix. But Heart Shot is actually a short film. But I'm not only going to review feature films and long films. I want to do short films and independent films as well, because I want to highlight all the lesbian movies, all the directors and the writers. Like, I don't want to just stick to like the big stuff, the blockbuster stuff. I'm trying to see what's out there, because there's a lot of hidden gems, and a lot of times like the big production companies or whatever, they don't push the envelope the way the smaller indie films do. And some of the indie films are just like fun and fresh and new. And some of them are absolute trash, but the fact that they're trash makes it kind of funny. Like that movie that I watched last week with that girl who could not act at all. It was trash, but it was kind of funny. I don't even remember what that stupid movie was called. I think I formed a mental block against that movie because it was probably the worst movie that I've ever seen in my entire life. But anyway, please subscribe, like, comment, and just show me some love, because I'm out here doing it. I'm trying to figure out this podcasting thing. I'm trying to build it. I'm trying to build something, see where it goes. And I'm trying to make money so I could buy me a Hyundai Santa Cruz. I know that was mad random. But yo, all of this time, like my dream car was always a Jeep Wrangler. But one day I was walking down the street and I saw a Hyundai Santa Cruz. And I was like, what is that beautiful thing that I'm looking at? it was like the most beautiful vehicle ever. And I was like, whatever that is, I want it. So I looked at it and it said Santa Cruz on the back. And I looked it up and I just really like it because it's an SUV and a pickup truck. And I know that sounds like it sounds really gay for me to want a pickup truck. But hey, it is what it is. But it's like not totally a pickup truck. It's an SUV merged with a pickup truck. So it has like a little pickup bed in the back, but like it's very compact and very cute. And it's just really stylish. And I really want it. So I'm doing everything I can to make as much money as I can so that I can buy a Hyundai Santa Cruz. I'm doing comedy shows. I'm doing cruise ships. I'm doing comedy clubs, bars, weddings, birthday parties, backyards, bar mitzvahs. I'm performing everywhere to get this coin. I'm doing vlogs and blogs and podcasts, everything. I'm doing commercials. I'm doing UGC, TV shows, whatever. I'm doing it all. Whatever. It's going to make me this money to buy me the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Because right now I drive a 1998 Saturn. And as much as I appreciate my car and she gets me from point A to point B, I got to upgrade. You know what I'm saying? And right now, the Hyundai Santa Cruz is my dream car. It used to be the Jeep Wrangler, but now I'm like, I want that little pickup bed in the back. That's like the main thing that appeals to me about it, because most people want a pickup bed so that they can transport things. Like, oh, I go to Home Depot and carry big things, and I can go to IKEA and put furniture in the back. No, I don't care about that. I'm going to put a little pallet back there, and I'm going to climb up in that pickup bed and eat snacks and lay back and look up at the stars. I'm going to drive it to the beach and just chill. Like, I really want that pickup bed in the back just to chill in. Me and my homies can sit in the back. I'm going to take it to drive-in movies. Like, I got big plans for my Hyundai Santa Cruz. I want a green one. They have like this really nice forest green. I really, really want that. And I'm going to get it. So anyway, that's been Girl Crush. Please like, comment, subscribe. Show me some love. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at It's Brooklyn Jones. And follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Girl Crush Pod. Thank you for listening. Talk to y'all later.
I've been moving while all of y'all are stationary. You're ordinary like missionary, bunch of visionaries. Look me up in the dictionary under precision. I stand for perfection. There's no need for revision. I keep my show on going. It won't be intermission. Soon as you break, someone else trying to fade.